a wonderful facility you've got here. Tell us how it came about.
Well, I'm a recovering alcoholic. I'm 23 years sober. And Mr. Anthony Gonzalez was one of the co-founders of this place. He had a son who was a victim of drugs and a very serious problem with drugs. So we took him to Durban to rehabilitate him in a place called Dr. Bob's Rooms. And then we decided to open Alcoholics Anonymous here, where on every Thursdays we used to have a meeting. And we started off with 2 people, but the organization has grown, the fellowship has grown to about 50, 60. And then slowly we started penetrating into the community at large, the business sectors and the schools and the hospitals and the magistrates' courts, spoke to the prosecutors, and we got this message across that we are here to help the still suffering alcoholic. In striving to support the still suffering alcoholic, we unfolded that drugs was a bigger problem. And then we found many of them were coming in with dual problem, drugs and alcohol. And because of the lack of facility to accommodate the alcoholic or the addict that wanted rehabilitation, and because of the distance between Durban and Port Shepstone, and many of them, when they come here, they're down and out. It's a disease that will add to your miseries, multiply your debts, subtract from your wallet, and divide your family. They come here virtually rock bottom. So they don't have the finance to get there. And that necessitated us into opening the center. And because of Mr. Anthony Gonzalez's influence in this community, he's quite a prominent man who has made some magnanimous contribution to social development. His influence led us to the Albersville Sports Club that were utilizing these premises as offices. And they were sort of malfunctioning or withering away. And then we expressed to them our needs, and we made an application to the municipality, who by the grace of God, I would say saw that this facility will help towards developing a better community, and they gave us a lease on this property. And when that came in, that was a blessing. But, we always believe if you've got faith in God, nothing is impossible.
How long have you been going now?
6 months. 6 months we've been going on, 6 months.
And you've grown into what you've got here?
That's right. And this is just through I think the community saw the need, they rallied forth. The business sectors has rallied forth in order to assist us. And at this point, I must say that Mr. Anthony Gonzalez's family, his immediate members of the family, played a very significant role in the support. Also, there's a gentleman named Daya who was very, very keen on opening the center together with his brother-in-law Rama. And that's how the idea was brought about.
Give us some idea of the program that you follow. How long does it take? And I assume that you follow the Alcoholics Anonymous program, rehabilitation program.
There are various centers that adopt various programs. Firstly, we had to be very, very careful because we didn't want to make this a religion-orientated program.
So you're interdenominational?
No, yeah, interdenominational. What we try to do is develop a better relationship with God, to make you believe that there's a power greater than yourself, and that we call God. You can call him whatever you want. We adopt the Alcoholics Anonymous program because we found it's a program that definitely works. It is the fastest growing fellowship in the world, which was founded by Dr. Bob and Bill W. And these co-founders didn't want to louse this up, the Fellowship of Alcoholics Anonymous. And one of the prime factors was, do not bring in one God concept into this. We will lose membership, or we will lose these people that need help. And because of the universal concept of God, we found that we were able to penetrate people better, and people are not shy to walk in to say they've got a problem.
It doesn't cost them anything, eh?
No, it doesn't cost anything to join Alcoholics Anonymous. When we bring them in here, we have the motto not to charge a cent, because most of the recovering alcoholics and addicts are downtrodden. They have nothing. And we have some doctors in the area that offer to diagnose these patients for us at no cost.
You've even got accommodation here for people. How do you manage to pay for that? And food and, stuff like that?
Food, we seek sponsorship. If not, it's called the RDP. We reach deep into our pockets. And funded by members. At this point in time, which I'm not, I feel ashamed saying this, majority of the funds comes from Mr. Anthony Gonzalez. It's like a one-man operation at the time being. And we've held a fundraiser, and some guys have made some pledges, which money is going to be used, hopefully if we can reach the other amounts, in order to put the extension so that we could accommodate more patients because of the growing demand for help.
The obvious question now is your success rate. How does that look?
I will rate ourselves at 72.5% after my recent analysis. That's our success rate. And the reason why we're successful is,
Okay, sorry, let me just make that clear. When you say success rate, does that mean that people who come here stop drinking altogether?
that's right. At the moment, I would say it's 72.5 because they continuously thereafter go to the program. We initiate them to different meetings that are taking place. And we have guys we call sponsors. We hand them over to sponsors who tend to look after them for a period of 6 months. But it's an amazing program because once you grab this program, you don't want to go back to alcohol or drugs because you can see the difference, the fruits of sobriety as compared to the despair of alcohol and drugs. I don't think the guys want to trade it.
You see, a very remarkable aspect is if you have a success rate of 72%, and if I understand you correctly, the time that they spend here is 3 weeks.
3 weeks, 21 days.
So 21 days. But once they have completed the 3 weeks, obviously they carry on and they are looked after.
What's important is after 3 weeks, the supervisor is so well groomed with the program, he can sense whether the guy is ready for the outside world or not. If he is not ready, we extend his stay. We extend his stay. If he's got a doubt, if he's got a fear, this guy's going to go back because you can make up from the behavior patterns as to whether the guy is is into the program or is not into the program. You see, the biggest damage that alcohol and drugs does, it affects your thinking. It removes your power of choice. So we try to develop that power of choice, that you are in control of your own life. You are where you are because of the way you think. Let's not blame anybody for it. And that's what we strive to get them to see.
Let's look at the drug problem. That's a worse addiction than alcohol. What do you, your program, how do you tackle that here in the center?
You see, alcohol and if we take any mood-changing substance, we refer to them as mood-changing substance. They all got the same effect. The symptoms are the same. But we have Narcotics Anonymous meetings, we have Alcoholics Anonymous meetings. So we cater for both. But if we sit in both meetings, it's the same literature, it's the same program, it's the same preamble, only instead of the word alcohol, the word drugs will appear.
Yeah, but with drugs, isn't that a more specialized treatment? Like substituting substances first, gradual withdrawal?
That's what many people believe. That's what many people believe. You know, that's why we have a belief here that no psychologist, no doctor in the world who hasn't taken drugs or alcohol will ever understand the disease. It's only one alcoholic or one addict for another. We know that pain. We know his cry. We know why he behaves. We can understand him. That's all that an alcoholic or an addict looks for. Somebody to understand him. He doesn't want to steal, but he's forced to. Sometimes his mind doesn't need it, but the body needs it. Sometimes the body doesn't need it, but the mind wants it. It's a mental obsession with a physical allergy. It's coupled. That's the danger of this disease. And that's why we believe very few doctors or psychologists, not that I'm condemning the profession, there might be a room for them in terms of that can understand the disease of alcohol or drugs if they were not consumers of it.
In conclusion, Mutu, how can the public out there who are watching this now, how can they help you guys?
What the public needs to realize that today it is somebody else's child, tomorrow it's going to be yours. Because we are dealing with merciless and unscrupulous dealers that are preying on the minds of innocent children. And the future of a nation lies in the minds of our children. And that's what our community needs to realize. And they need to realize that the patients, there is a drug called sugars that has taken South Africa by storm. It's a cheap drug that's made of Ratex and all the leftovers of heroin. And this drug, these kids will do anything. And if they are in your community, they are a danger to you. You need to be aware. And we need to help them. God does not make bad children. He makes good children who just have bad habits. They need to be given that chance.
Speaking of children, do you cater for children?
Yeah, we cater for kids from 16 and above. But I think that the government got its own regulations below 16. So we've got to be very careful with that because of the various nature, fear of child abuse and what have you in society. So with the child laws, there are a lot of restrictions.
Mutu, thank you very much and all the best. It's a wonderful center.
We want to say thank you to you guys for showing an interest. Even if you can't support us financially or in terms of goods, but just popping in here and visiting us, making us believe we're doing the right thing will be an honor. That's all. That's all. We just need that moral support to make us believe we're going in the right direction.